Breastmilk Reserve, or SABR, have made an urgent call for South Africans who can to donate breast milk as their supply is running critically low. Breast milk is essential for the survival of especially premature babies, and donated breast milk is often given when mother's milk is simply not available. So to discuss this further is Stasha Jordan of the South African Breastmilk Reserve. Thanks so much for coming through, Stasha.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
So let's start with the reason for why your reserves are so critically low.
Well, first and foremost, the demand for donated breast milk is high. In South Africa, we have a large population of mummies that are struggling with their health and therefore giving birth prematurely. That is in the public sector primarily. We have 24 public sector hospitals that rely on us to support them when mummy's health is critical. So we have mummies that are suffering from conditions that are associated with HIV. Prematurity is generally on the rise, and there are a number of factors that obviously lead to prematurity where the mother would not be able to breastfeed her own baby. So we always emphasize that mother's own milk is the priority. However, when mother's own milk is not available, donated breast milk is essential, particularly in the extremely low birth weight population.
So as you say that, I'm just thinking of people sitting at home thinking, we weren't even aware of that. We wouldn't even know that there was a breast milk reserve in South Africa and that there was this need. So talk to us about your organization, when it was formed, what it does, and how many people it actually assists.
The South African Breastmilk Reserve was formed in 2003, and we have been working for the last 16 years in both public and private environments. We promote mostly human milk banking for the public sector, where the need is greater and greatest, where we see a lot of spontaneous prematurity due to failing maternal health, as we said. In these instances, we feed babies that are extremely low birth weight. That's our target population. In the public sector. In the private sector, we have a different type of concern, which is the early scheduling of deliveries, which is leading to prematurity that is known as iatrogenic prematurity, that often results in the baby not being able to function, or the organs of the baby are not functioning as they should because the babies are extracted too early, and this contributes to prematurity. And this is obviously according to Pediatric Emeritus Professor Susan Delport, our director that is doing a lot of work in this area of medicine. Yes.
And you know, I don't want to go off topic, but perhaps that's something that we need to discuss further at a later stage with Professor Delport.
Yes.
You know, the extraction of babies too early that leads to a further need in the private sector for breast milk. That's a very important point.
I think people have often this misconception that prematurity, and I mean really speaking to the public, prematurity is not the extremely low birth weight baby. Often the larger population is between 34 and 36 week gestation, where we assume that because of the size of the baby, the organs will be functioning. And that is actually not accurate. It is the gestational age that is the most accurate predictor of survival and outcome and good outcomes for the baby. So we want to see babies come as close to 39-week gestation as possible. So it is not really the 500 grammer that is the premature population at large. We're talking about the bigger babies, the 34 to 36 weeks ones.
So I'll tell you what, we've just unearthed another topic that we definitely need to take up. But just getting back to the breast milk and the bank, how can mothers donate? How does it actually work? And how do you preserve the milk?
There are a number of human milk banking organizations in South Africa. We are just one of them. In KZN, we have the KZN Initiative for Breastfeeding Support. There is Milk Matters in Cape Town, and we speak for 7 provinces. So we supply human milk banking services to tertiary facilities, to the neonatal ICUs. If mummies want to donate, they can reach us via the internet on www.sabr.org.za. And they can also sign up in hospitals. So in the 24 public hospitals where we have human milk banks, we have breast milk handlers, or what we call breast milk bank coordinators, that work with the mothers in the neonatal intensive care unit to collect the breast milk that is in excess and supply to the babies that are in need. So there are a variety of access points to the human milk banking sector. I think a Google search is always the best option.
But for those who do not have access to Google, they can go to the nearest public hospital and inquire there. But is there any criteria that the mummies need to meet?
Indeed. So mummies first and foremost need to be healthy, have access to a fridge and a freezer. There is a large list of medication which is contraindicated for donation, including antidepressants that are often used in lactation. So the pool is relatively small. Usually only 1 in 6 donors or potential donors qualifies to donate.
That's very interesting. Do you have a situation, you say the pool is very small, but obviously there are women who produce more milk than what their babies actually need?
Absolutely. There are some mothers that are hyperlactate. Lactation is very individual. There isn't a standard. A woman doesn't produce an average of milliliters of liters of breast milk a day. We have seen such a variety of output that it's difficult to quantify. But what we do know is that usually our recipient population is tiny. So the babies that receive our breast milk, our tiniest patient this year weighed 420 grams at birth. She reached 2 kilos. She's now 190 days in hospital, but she's doing well. So when they start, they consume as little as 1 ml every 3 hours. So you can imagine that's literally a drop.
Literally.
Yes.
Well, you know, thank you so much, Stasha, for coming through and raising this very, very important issue. And I know there are probably people watching. I know some of our colleagues who may be able to help in this regard. So if you need more details or if you want to donate, then if you can't use the internet service, then just go to your nearest public hospital and just ask for them for assistance in donating. So don't forget, the reserves are critically low at this point. So if you have extra milk that you can spare for another baby, please make that donation. Right, we're going to leave it there. And this one, of course, is one that has unearthed another topic that I certainly want to discuss. But thanks for now to Stasha Jordan of the South African Breastmilk Reserve for talking to us about the need for and also the reason to donate breast milk. We're going to take a break.